Give the money to my son or get out, my brother Marcus screamed across the living room at my daughter's 7th birthday party. You don't deserve to be here anyway. I stood there holding Lily's hand, watching 20 children freeze mid-game. The bounce house in the backyard went silent, its colorful walls deflating slightly in the afternoon breeze. Parents stopped their conversations mid-sentence and stared, some instinctively pulling out their phones. The hired entertainer, a magician who had been setting up his table, paused with a deck of cards in his hands, looking uncomfortable. Mom set down her coffee cup slowly, the china clinking against the saucer. Dad adjusted his glasses but said nothing, his newspaper folded neatly on his lap. My sister-in-law Jennifer smirked from the kitchen doorway, arms crossed, her designer jewelry catching the light. She'd been waiting for this moment, I realized. They'd planned this confrontation. Marcus, it's Lily's birthday, I said quietly. Can we talk about this later? No, he stepped closer, his face red. Your brat gets presents every year while my son gets nothing. Dylan deserves that envelope you brought. Hand it over. The envelope in my purse contained $200, 10 crisp $20 bills I'd saved for months to take Lily to the theme park she'd been begging to visit. She'd marked the days on her calendar, circling the date in purple marker. She'd made a list of rides she wanted to try. It was all she'd talked about for weeks. That's for Lily's trip, I explained, keeping my voice steady despite my racing heart. I promised her. Your promises don't matter in my house. Marcus jabbed his finger toward the door, his wedding ring glinting. You're a guest here. My rules. Give Dylan the money or leave. My son deserves it more than your kid does. The cruelty of those words hung in the air. Several parents exchanged glances, clearly uncomfortable. One mother gathered her daughter's jacket, preparing to leave. I looked at Mom. She studied her hands. Dad cleared his throat but remained silent. Jennifer walked over and put her hand on Marcus's shoulder. She's always been selfish. Remember when we paid for her college textbooks? She never even thanked us properly. That was 15 years ago. I'd thanked them repeatedly and paid them back within 6 months. I paid you back, I said. With attitude, Jennifer snapped. You've always thought you were better than this family. Lily tugged my sleeve. Mommy, can we just go? My daughter's eyes were filling with tears. Her friends watched from the corner where they'd been playing. The princess cake I'd spent 3 hours decorating sat untouched on the dining table. Marcus snatched the envelope from my purse before I could stop him. He ripped it open and counted the bills. $200. That'll cover the party costs at least. You said I could host Lily's party here, I said, my heart pounding but my voice calm. You offered. And you should be grateful. He pocketed the money. This house costs money to maintain. The least you can do is contribute. I pulled out my phone and smiled. You're right. This house does cost money. What are you doing? Jennifer moved toward me. I typed quickly and hit send. Just making a call. Marcus laughed. Calling someone to rescue you? Typical. Can't handle your own problems. Something like that. I knelt down to Lily's level. Sweetheart, go get your presents from the table. Tell your friends thank you for coming. But the cake. We'll have cake somewhere else. Better cake. I stood and looked at my parents. They still hadn't moved. Dad's jaw was tight but he avoided my eyes. You're just going to leave? Mom finally spoke. On your daughter's birthday? I was asked to leave. Because you wouldn't help family, Marcus said. You never help family. My phone buzzed. I glanced at the screen and nodded. Actually, I help family constantly, I said. Who do you think has been paying the property taxes on this house for the last 3 years? The room went quiet. Jennifer laughed nervously. That's ridiculous. We pay our own taxes. Check your records, I suggested. You'll find they've been paid by a property management company, PMC Holdings. Marcus's confidence faltered for just a second. So what? That doesn't mean anything. It means I own PMC Holdings, I said simply. I bought this house 18 months ago when you were 3 months from foreclosure. The bank was going to seize it in early spring last year. I paid off your mortgage, all $380,000 of it, and let you stay here rent-free. I covered the back taxes, the penalty fees, everything. You were going to lose your home, your credit, everything you'd built. Jennifer's face drained of color. You're lying. Am I? I showed her my phone screen, an email from my lawyer confirming the property transfer. I've been covering your expenses while you rebuilt your credit. I never mentioned it because I didn't want you to feel embarrassed. Marcus grabbed the phone from my hand. He stared at the screen, scrolling through the documents. His hands started shaking. This can't be real. It's very real. I took my phone back. I also paid for the roof repair last spring. That was $12,000 when the storm damage nearly collapsed your attic. And the new furnace in December when yours died during that cold snap. Another $8,000. And your son Dylan's private school tuition that you couldn't afford. $15,000 per year for the last 2 years. I've spent over $400,000 keeping your family afloat. Why would you do that? Mom whispered. Because you're family, I said. I thought that mattered. Dad finally stood up. Marcus, is this true? Were you really going to lose the house? Marcus couldn't speak. Jennifer's eyes darted between me and her husband. The bank sent multiple foreclosure notices, I continued. I contacted them and made an offer. They accepted. I set up the property management company to handle everything discreetly. I didn't want you to know you'd almost lost everything. Then why tell us now? Jennifer's voice cracked. Because I just sent an email to my lawyer and the property management company. I checked my phone again. As of 2 minutes ago, I'm terminating your residency agreement. You have 30 days to vacate. Marcus lunged toward me, but Dad stepped between us. You can't do this, Marcus said. We have nowhere to go. You have 30 days to figure that out. I called to Lily. Honey, are you ready? My daughter came over with a small bag of presents. Her friends stood awkwardly by the door with their parents, who had been watching everything unfold. I'm sorry everyone had to see this, I said to the other parents. We're moving the party to Riverside Park. There's a pavilion there. Anyone who wants to join us is welcome. We'll have the cake and ice cream there. Most of the parents nodded and started gathering their children. Wait, Jennifer pleaded. Can't we talk about this? You had years to talk to me with respect, I said. Instead, you took my money, my help, my time, and treated me like I was worthless. You tried to steal my daughter's birthday money in front of her. It wasn't stealing, Marcus stammered. We needed. You needed to feel superior, I finished. You needed someone to look down on. That was more important than honesty or gratitude. My phone rang. I answered on speaker. Miss Torres. A man's voice came through clearly. This is Dave from Precision Locksmith. We've changed all the locks on the property as requested. The new keys are with your property manager. Should we leave the old keys with the current occupants? No, I said, watching Marcus's face. They won't be needing them. They'll be moving out. Understood. The security system has also been updated. Only you and your property manager have the codes now. Perfect. Thank you, Dave. I hung up and looked at Marcus. Your house keys stopped working about 5 minutes ago. Don't bother trying them. Jennifer started crying. Where are we supposed to go tonight? You have access until tonight at midnight, I said. After that, the security system activates. I suggest you pack essentials and find a hotel. You have 30 days to remove your belongings during supervised appointments. You're putting us on the street, Marcus said, his voice breaking. No, I'm removing you from my property. There's a difference. I picked up Lily's cake carefully. You put yourselves in this situation. The foreclosure, the debts, the inability to manage money. Those were your choices. I gave you a second chance. You used it to treat me like garbage. Mom finally stood. This is too harsh. They're your brother and his wife. And Lily is your granddaughter, I said. You watched him bully her and steal from her and said nothing. You've watched them treat me like this for years and said nothing. You chose sides today, Mom. You chose wrong. Dad moved toward me. We can fix this. Family should stick together. I've been sticking together by myself, I said. I'm done. I walked toward the door with Lily. The other families had already left and were waiting outside. Please, Jennifer called out. We'll apologize. We'll pay you back. With what money? I asked. You couldn't pay your mortgage. You can't pay your son's tuition. You took my daughter's birthday money. What exactly are you going to pay me back with? Marcus slumped onto the couch, his head in his hands. The property management company will contact you tomorrow with move-out procedures, I continued. All communication goes through them now. Don't call me. Don't show up at my apartment. Don't contact Lily's school. If you violate those terms, I'll pursue legal action for the theft that occurred today. It wasn't theft, Jennifer protested weakly. You took money from my purse without permission in front of witnesses. That's textbook theft. I adjusted the cake in my arms. I'm choosing not to press charges if you comply with the move-out terms. Push me and I'll reconsider. I opened the door. Sunshine streamed in. Outside, I could hear children laughing, ready to continue the party elsewhere. One more thing, I said, turning back. The property management company has all your financial records. When I bought this house, I assumed all the documentation. I know about the second mortgage you took out and spent on a boat you had to sell 6 months later. I know about the credit cards maxed out on furniture you couldn't afford. I know about the country club membership you maintained while claiming you couldn't pay utilities. Marcus looked up, his eyes red. I know everything, I said quietly. And I still helped you. I still paid your bills. I still gave you a home. And this is how you repaid me, by trying to humiliate my daughter on her birthday. I walked out and closed the door behind me. At the park, Lily's party transformed into something better. The pavilion had picnic tables and a playground. Parents helped set up the cake and decorations. Children ran around playing tag. Lily hugged me tight. Are we really not going back to Uncle Marcus's house? Never, I promised. We don't need people who treat us that way. But you owned his house, she said. You never told me. I didn't want you to think differently about them, I explained. I wanted them to treat us well because they loved us, not because they owed us. They didn't love us anyway, she said sadly. No. But lots of people do. I gestured to her friends, laughing and playing. These people came to celebrate you. That's what matters. My phone buzzed throughout the afternoon. Messages from Marcus, Jennifer, Mom and Dad. I didn't read them. I silenced the notifications and focused on my daughter's happiness. When we got home that evening, Lily counted her birthday money from her grandparents on her father's side. They'd mailed a card with $50. Combined with money from friends, she had enough for her theme park trip. We're still going? She asked, eyes bright. Absolutely, I said. Next weekend. What about Uncle Marcus and Aunt Jennifer? Where will they live? That's not our problem anymore, I said gently. They're adults. They'll figure it out. Are you sad? I thought about it. A little. I'm sad they chose to be cruel instead of kind. But I'm not sad about my decision. Some people don't deserve access to our lives even if they're family. The next morning my lawyer called. The property management company received 17 calls yesterday, he said. From Marcus, Jennifer, your parents and several other family members. They're demanding to speak with you. Let them demand, I said. What are the legal standings? Solid. The 30-day notice is valid. They have no legal recourse. The theft incident is documented with witness statements if you want to pursue it. I don't. As long as they vacate peacefully. Understood. One more thing. Marcus's employer contacted the property management company. They wanted to verify his address for their records. Should we respond? Tell them he's relocating and should update his information through proper channels, I said. It's not our responsibility to manage his life anymore. 3 weeks later I drove past the house. A moving truck sat in the driveway. I didn't stop. I didn't wave. I just kept driving toward Lily's school, where I was volunteering for her class field trip. My phone rang, Mom's number. I let it go to voicemail. She'd called every day. I hadn't answered once. That evening I listened to her message. Please call me back, she said, her voice tired. Marcus and Jennifer moved into a small apartment. They're struggling. Dad and I are helping them financially, but it's hard. Can't you give them another chance? Family should forgive. I deleted the message. Family should also protect, support, and respect. They'd failed at all three. Lily came into the kitchen while I was preparing dinner. Mom, can we have my friends over next month for a pool party? At the community center? I asked. Yeah. They have that huge pool with the slides. Absolutely. I smiled. We'll make it amazing. She hugged me tight. You're the best mom ever. I hugged her back, thinking about the house I'd given up, the money I'd spent, the family I'd lost. Worth it. Every single bit. Some bridges aren't worth rebuilding. Some doors are better left locked.